After 5 years together, Anita Verdi and Kabir Khan have recently got engaged.
Have you tried this one yet?
It's really frustrating because I rang them, but they didn't really come back to me, so I don't know if I should ring them again or...
But planning for their big day is proving far more challenging than for the average couple. The problem for Anita is that she is a Sikh and the man she wants to marry is not. And since 2014, many British Gurdwaras, Sikh temples, have refused to allow interfaith marriages.
Were you thinking of having a Sikh wedding yourself?
I've always thought that, you know what, I'd love to have a Sikh wedding, get married in a Gurdwara. I'd want to be the bride that wears red.
But Anita has had no joy with any of the temples in her local area.
As soon as I said, he's from a Muslim background, they were a bit like, oh, the matrimony service isn't open, but we'll get someone to ring you, and they never really do. So I just felt a bit fobbed off.
I mean, that must be hard.
My faith is, you know, it's part of my identity, and to kind of almost feel like no one wants to give you the time of day because you've chosen to marry out of your faith, yeah, it's quite disheartening.
To see her feeling like she's not a part of it or not feeling welcomed by it is quite upsetting.
It's not just Anita and Kabir who have found themselves in this situation. It's something that I've come across on many occasions between Sikhs and Christians, Sikhs and Hindus, mixed faith couples who have tried to get married at a Gurdwara.
The Sikh community hasn't always been against interfaith ceremonies. But in recent years, attitudes have been changing, and this has led to a number of protests at temples where interfaith marriages were taking place. To establish a consistent approach, 5 years ago, the Sikh Council in the UK issued guidance advising that the wedding ceremony, the Anand Karaj, should be reserved only for Sikhs. Mankamal Singh was a member of the Sikh Council at the time.
So why did you decide to no longer allow interfaith marriage in the Gurdwaras?
This has always existed. As per the Sikh Code of Conduct, the Sikh wedding ceremony is always conducted between two Sikhs.
So if it's always been disallowed, then why has it been going on for decades and decades before?
I mean, you can put it down to complacency. You can put it down to a lapse in actually understanding the ceremony itself.
So the only way for Kabir and anyone else who isn't Sikh to get married in a Gurdwara is to embrace the faith.
I don't feel like I should have to change my way of life or my way of thinking in order to necessarily get married to the person I love.
It's not just about religion, it's just the whole meaning of the Sikh ceremony, you know, the union of two souls, the joining of the families, you know, the steps that you're going to take with this person.
But for Mankamal, the key to the marriage ceremony is that you are affirming Sikhism and renouncing other faiths.
It is a renunciation of a legacy faith. It is accepting the path of Sikhism, and it's moving forward as a united couple to get close and unite with God. So the reality is that I wouldn't understand why somebody who isn't going to embrace that would want to go through the Anand Karaj, the Sikh wedding ceremony.
But the people I spoke to outside one of the UK's biggest Gurdwaras in West London were divided on the matter.
I think the Anand Karaj that is actually done at the Gurdwara is a religious ceremony. So other people from other faiths, they won't understand what's happening, and it's like you're accepting another faith without being fully committed.
Do you think the Gurdwara should accept interfaith marriages?
Yes, I do. I don't believe in segregation.
I think the protests are happening now because it's happening more commonly now, and I think that's why you'll see more tensions.
If the person loves the other person and they're from a different religion, then I think it should be all right.
In the middle of that debate is Anita, still planning a wedding outfit for a ceremony that looks unlikely to happen in the place that she has set her heart on.
Can we try that one on?
Yeah.
The red, the velvet one. What do you think?
Wow.
So nice. That's such a good colour.
Looks like a bride now, doesn't she?
I feel special, and I think that's part of the appeal, you know, like having, you know, just part of having the ceremony is just going through that feeling. I literally just feel like a princess. You can't choose who you fall in love with, and I think that my faith should allow me to have the freedom to be with who I want to be.